So local headlines from here in Philly to Pittsburgh's North Shore Drive to the Lehigh Valley today are filled with one statement that's not up for debate tonight. Pennsylvania is crucial in the 2024 race, and voters in this state know they have the power to significantly impact the presidential election in November. And no one knows how to effectively reach those voters better than the folks on the ground. So joining us, two Pennsylvania mayors.
Mayor Matt Turk, the mayor of Allentown, and Ed Gainey, the mayor of Pittsburgh. So, Mayor Turk, you both represent Democratic areas. Can you run up the margin in those Democratic areas enough to offset what's going to happen in parts, well, not Pittsburgh necessarily, but parts of western PA and central PA, Harrisburg?
And eastern Pennsylvania. So Allentown is the third largest city in the Commonwealth. We're in the heart of eastern Pennsylvania, in the third largest metropolitan area. It's a big area. It's defined, I think, by the city of Allentown, which is a majority Latino city. But we also have this surrounding area, Lehigh and Northampton County, that makes up the Lehigh Valley. That is, we're hoping that we'll be able to offset those. That will offset things in Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton.
So let me ask you about the Lehigh Valley, because it's your city, right? It's Bethlehem, it's Easton, right? And there's been some post-industrial growth there. The cities have done well. But in talking to a lot of other Democrats who are looking at how they're formulating the Harris campaign, they're going into rural municipalities. I think there are 60 in the Lehigh Valley, places where often Democrats were never seen, never necessarily welcomed. How important do you think that could be when you're looking at those kinds of margins, both on your side, but also on Donald Trump trying to maintain what he's gotten in the past?
Well, and I want to distinguish between those rural areas, the 62 municipalities across the two counties. Those rural areas have their share of Republican voters, but they're very distinct from the MAGA voters that we see in other parts of the country. You had Charlie Dent on earlier, I think.
Yep.
Charlie Dent was our congressman from the Allentown area and from Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name of the district at the time, but Charlie Dent is a different kind of Republican. Lehigh Valley Republicans are a different kind of voter. They don't go for the authoritarian Project 2025 stuff.
So for lack of a better term, are they ripe for the picking for Kamala Harris?
I think they're absolutely. The Lehigh Valley voters care about the basics of economic opportunity for children. They care about women's rights. We elected Susan Wild to Congress.
Which is really a breakthrough.
Well, absolutely. So she broke through, and I think it was those Republicans in those parts of Lehigh and Northampton County. They care about the basics, and Trump is a violation of those basics. And I think that Kamala Harris is going to be somebody that will resonate with those voters, and not just in Allentown, but across the Lehigh Valley.
And Mayor Gainey, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette writes that tonight is going to test Donald Trump's new strategy of painting Harris as a communist who would ruin Pennsylvania, an approach that's earned him a lot of votes in the past. It's fired up the crowds. It's packed houses in red counties like Luzerne and Cambria, but also in Harrisburg, which went blue in 2020. Does that strategy have wings among Pennsylvania voters? How does Harris counter it?
Well, one, I want to thank you for having me, and I want to say hello to Matt over there in the eastern part of the state. It's good to see you. I don't believe that it will. I believe that this comes down to two different candidates with contrast that everybody understands. One is built on hope and one is built on fear. The reality is we know that right now that Vice President Harris believes in the things that we hold dear to our values, like protecting our voting rights, fighting for reproductive justice, and making sure that renewable energy is a thing that we do to ensure that our energy is clean, and also making sure that we have gun control, compared to the contrast of someone that leads by fear and leads by anger. And we know that anger is one letter removed from danger. And the last time we put danger on the White House, we know exactly what happened with the insurrection and people being injured and fatally wounded. So at the end of the day, I think this was a great test for Vice President Harris to talk about her economic agenda and talk about just what she wants to do to bring hope to the Commonwealth.
Mayor Gainey, there is a growing expectation this could be one of the, if not the most watched presidential debates. And I wonder, from your perspective, in Pennsylvania, somebody who knows this state, how many persuadable voters, truly persuadable, undecided voters are out there?
Well, we may not know the exact percentage, but what I do know is that you do have some out there, and that's why tonight's debate is so important, because it'll be an opportunity for Vice President Harris to be able to reach them and be able to put some of their concerns to rest and demonstrate why she is the most competent leader, one that doesn't want separation but want unification so that we can move this country forward. That's what she brings to the table. She's always been a common sense type of a leader that demonstrated her ability to move things forward. Tonight, you will see that. You will see her calm. You will see her consistent. And you will see her deposit a type of hope that gives people the belief that we are a country that is on the right path.
Mayor Ed Gainey from Pittsburgh, Allentown Mayor Matt Turk, great of both of you to be on the program. Thank you so much.